Welcome back to Sound 101. I'm Andrew from Deity Microphones, and back with us is production sound mixer Marlon.
Thanks for having me back, man.
This time, double the trouble. We have more guests, more gear, more equipment. He is going to teach us all about how to do a two-person interview setup and all the little tips and tricks that he knows personally. So let's get started. So just like that graphic said, this is all about that two-person interview. You may get on a set that has more than one camera and more than one talent. In theory, this is a 3-camera setup lit for all 3 angles. So that is the challenge. It's your set, take it away.
All right, awesome. So the first thing we're going to want to do is set our booms, make sure that they're angled correctly. And we're going to do this specifically angling them so that we can avoid phasing.
Okay.
We'll start here. This seems about the right height. Maybe we could drop it down a little. We'll check with our camera department. I want to make sure that I've got this in the right place. So just in case Solomon decides to lean forward, we're still getting that audio when it's not going a little bit too overhead.
So you're using the SUPERCARDIOID pickup pattern to your benefit in the sit-down interview setup.
Absolutely. The SUPERCARDIOID is definitely a lot more forgiving than a shotgun microphone would be, which is much more directional. SUPERCARDIOID, say Solomon decides to just kind of do a little twist, something, it's going to still be able to capture my source audio much better than a more directional mic.
Okay. What about this secondary boom? Clearly, I've just threw this one up, but what do we need to do with this guy?
Now, with this one over here, let's first drop this down. I'm gonna swing behind the light. And always, always, always keep a hand on the pole as well, making sure that it doesn't hit our talent. So now I'm able to balance this out. Another thing I have to check for are shadows, something we talked about on the previous episode. And I want to make sure that we avoid them here. And always, always make sure you throw your sandbag on, you've got enough weight, and that they're set correctly. We could probably raise this up just a little bit, and we should be good to go.
So cool, you've got these now all set up. The microphone used for Solomon is at more than 90 degrees, in all honesty, to Katie. And Katie's microphone is more than 90 degrees to Solomon, right? So that's really trying to get the best pickup patterns without the least amount of crosstalk, right?
Absolutely. That's why in some cases, not all, but in some, a more directional microphone might come in handy to avoid phasing with the secondary mic. However, in this particular instance, we've got a big echoey room. Our SUPERCARDIOID mics are gonna work great. Also, I wanted to best utilize the environment that I'm in. Like I said, we're in a big open room with lots of space.
Now hold up, before we go further, we really need to address the elephant in the room, and that is there's a lack of sound blankets on this set. And that is because we were gifted in this room with a lot of really nice soft stuff like a couch, chairs, plants, a big giant goofy rug. It's wonderful stuff because it absorbed a lot of echo that could have really kind of ruined our day. Now, if you are like me and sometimes forget how to set up sound blankets, we have a video right up here.
So now that we've got these all set up, you are already wearing a microphone, Katie, but Solomon, you are unmiked. So why don't we get a lav on you? Marlon, take it away.
So we always want to make sure this is more for redundancy than anything, because most of the time your boom is going to sound best. But there are some instances where it won't. So let's get a lav real quick. We're going to come over to the cart or bring it over.
There we go. Instant cart. It's almost like it was prepped for the shoot.
Solomon, can I ask you to join us over here real quick? Thank you. And always ask your talent, watch your head as you're coming out from under the boom, because you will hit your head. Happens every time.
Yep.
It's embarrassing. More for us than for you. So, Solomon's wearing a normal sports coat, button-down shirt. We've got a neat little trick that if you want to go for more of a cinematic look, you don't want to be able to see the lav.
This is becoming more and more apparent, even on documentary crews, where the producers will tell people, hey, you know what, we don't want to see any lavs on this whole show. We want to hide everything. It doesn't matter if it's a classic sit-down, news-style interview. Sometimes lavs just got to get hidden, and this is a great technique Marlon's about to show.
So, Solomon, would you mind unbuttoning your jacket and untucking your shirt for me, because we're gonna drop this lav bullet down his shirt. I'd also recommend never bringing this onto a plane. It's gonna give you more hassle with the TSA than you're gonna want. We're gonna drop this down. This is a great tool everyone should have in their kit, or the equivalent of a mic drop or something. If you're in a real pinch, neat little trick is to take one of your dead batteries and grab some transport or moleskin and wrap the connector of the mic around the battery as well as the connector with the tape, and you're good to go. I'm gonna ask Solomon, would you mind if I unbutton your shirt right here?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Always, always, always communicate with your talents what you're about to do. We have to invade their personal space, so it gets awkward real quick. We're gonna push the capsule actually through the hole first. Give you more than enough slack than you'll need, and then push the button back in. And then this is another piece of your kit that I think everyone should have, or some kind of equivalent, which is Joe Sticky stuff. I know in Europe they
English
have,
butyl.
they call it English, it's technically called butyl. Can help with deadening sound of jewelry, or in our particular case, it's going to hold the capsule in place behind our button.
And what's interesting about butyl is the harder you press, the stickier it is. If you just lightly press, it will barely stick. It is a pressure-sensitive adhesive.
So we've got just a little bit of the butyl. I'm gonna take it right at the capsule, leave enough space for the capsule to actually remain open. Wrap that around nice. And now we're gonna take our excess wire, pull that down now that we've done all of our work. Hide that right behind the button. Give it a nice little press. Sometimes the button will seem a little bit off, so I might actually even use a little bit extra Joe Sticky to kind of balance it out.
So the button doesn't feel lopsided.
Exactly. And the great thing about it, it's nearly transparent.
So a buttonhole mount like this really works great if you have a mid shot or a 3-button shot.
Okay, so Solomon, feel free to tuck your shirt back in if you like. We're just gonna have this go a little bit off to the side. With a lot of sports coats, we could either go behind, traditionally where we might put it, on the back of the pants, anywhere like that. A lot of sports coats and a lot of suits will actually have a ticket pocket on the inside of the jacket. So we can actually take that excess wire, run this up, drop that pack right there.
And put all your
And
excess. up in
Exactly.
here.
Also want to make sure that you still tape off a little bit just so you avoid any kind of clothing rustle, anything like that. Now we've avoided the personal space, we've avoided all this. He's comfortable, he doesn't have anything on his back while he's sitting down. So feel free to sit back down and you're all set.
here. So we've got a Lav on Katie. We have a Lav now on Solomon. We have 2 booms. Is there anything we need to worry about when it comes to the mixer itself?
Well, with the mixer itself, obviously we have to worry about gain staging because, like I said, you want to play it off of whatever sounds best. And a lot of the junkets that I do and a lot of the jobs that I do, you don't always have this kind of more casual setting where they're sitting down on a couch. They're often facing each other, just right across from each other, so that sometimes they can actually take the reporter out of there completely.
Okay.
You can ask your questions, you could have it as an ISO, but you have the option of actually taking it out and then having subtitles or anything put in.
So what Marlon is talking about here is the fact that what you want to do is get into post and have everything isolated as much as possible. We're doing that already with our microphones so they don't bleed into each other, but it's also important to record isolated tracks of each microphone. If you are recording directly into your camera, what that means is you're going to put one of the people, like the interviewer, on the left and the interviewee on the right. Do not blend these 2 signals together because some people aren't going to want one in post. Now, Marlon, take it away.
We make sure that we have, like I said, every redundancy in place. In this case, we have our lavs, we have our booms. We're gonna use in our mix whatever sounds best, but the client always has the options available to them. So that's why the redundancies that we always put in place are so important. Make sure just as well, keep everyone comfortable. That's I can't stress that enough, especially if you're doing multiple interviews throughout the day, long days. People are gonna get tired. And so do what you can to keep them comfortable.
Absolutely.
Now that we have set everything up, a lot of you out there really want us now to compare the boom and the loft back and forth so you can hear what the difference is for this space. Let's give this a listen.
The company's been good. It's been delayed a little bit just because of the holidays, and now in progress and studying for the state exam. Oh. Yes. So, absolutely. And how about your business? How has your business been going?
Well, we really began launching about a year ago. It's really exciting. We have about 150 different jelly types and over 12 different peanut butter types, specifically peanut butter. Then we also have a lot of other butters, sunflower, and a whole variety.
And there you go, that is our episode. We went through all the little tips and tricks about how a two-person interview is not just the same thing as a one-person interview, and how you really gotta take a lot more into consideration when you're doing it. I do want to thank my guest over here, Marlon, of course, Katie, and Solomon. You guys were fantastic and good sports all day about our whole shoot. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
We actually want to do something now for you guys for watching it at home. We actually want to give away a DD Connect interview kit. Now that you know a little bit about interview skills, you got to get some gear. So we're going to give one away to the best comment down below. Tell us what videos that you want us to do next. We only do videos you guys want, and we need your feedback. We also need you to hit that subscribe button and that bell for notifications so you can find out when we make brand new videos just like this one. I'm Andrew from Deity Microphones. Thank you for watching.